One of the 7 flag-bearers inquire, a sudden order to gather, as she leans backwards towards a tree. She continues, Diffus Oppa, do you know anything about this? I asked Luna Unny earlier, but I don't think she knows either. We are told that this is Mary Runcandel, Runcandel's 7th flag-bearer. As they both start walking alongside each other, she continues, stating that she was busy beating up some mages, whilst sighing, not content with the sudden order that has been given to them. Diffus Runcandel, the 4th flag-bearer, puts his hands on his chin while stating, the Toner twins will be out of the Storm Castle by next year, so I doubt it'd be about them. While turning his head to look at Mary, he continues, don't you think he's coming to see our youngest? With this, Mary asks why they are going to the Storm Castle to see the youngest Jin Runcandel. Diffus remarks, he chose the Patriarch's sword during the selection, remember? With both hands on her head, she is shocked that she forgot about what Jin did in the selection ceremony. She continues, stating if that would be enough reason for their father to go to the Storm Castle. Whilst Diffus, not aware of the situation, states that there's no way they'll know what their father is thinking. Whilst both the 7th and the 4th flag-bearers chatter on, their older sister, Luna Runcandel, the 1st flag-bearer, calls out to them whilst gesturing for them to keep quiet. To this, they reply with formality, stating that they are sorry. Mary, following her father, can't stop thinking about why her father, the Patriarch, went as far as to come back to see Jin personally, and if Jin is that useful. Inside the Storm Castle, the maid, whilst dressing Jin, states that the Patriarch is coming to see them and maybe to see his children. With this, Jin replies maybe. Jin thinks to himself that Khan must have told father, the Patriarch, everything. Khan is a rather inflexible person, so he wouldn't have drawn the conclusion that Jin was using magic. He probably reported everything exactly as he saw it. The youngest son used a power that isn't magic or aura. The Patriarch is coming back to check what that power could be, to see if that power or Jin could be an asset for the future and prosperity of the clan. A massive door opens as soldiers wearing full suits of armor, holding a sword close to their faces, enter with the Patriarch. The Patriarch is greeted as he enters the castle with a sword at his waist and a black cape covering his body. He holds onto the sword's tip whilst announcing to the maids and butlers to bring the Toner twins. As he stands on top of the stairs, he calls out the Toner twins' names whilst they bow down and answer, yes, father. The Patriarch asks them that he heard they got into an altercation with Jin and what their fault was in that altercation, which leaves both the brothers shocked and speechless for a moment. Both sweating profusely and looking at each other nervously, they both claim that they have no fault and that it was Jin that hurt them. They continue, stating that they were hurt by Jin with an unknown power. It wasn't aura, but it looked like magic, which caught the attention of the Patriarch. As both the brothers smiled maniacally, they continue that magic is a forbidden art in the family. One of them states that if Jin used magic, then they should interrogate him before he can hide anything. Having heard their explanation, the Patriarch stops them from blabbering on. The Patriarch, with a commanding voice, asks his sons to etch this into their hearts, as they won't be able to survive in the Runcandel family like how they are right now. Both Toner brothers with sweat dropping from their faces listen attentively to their father. The Patriarch asks to bring Jin in front of him. As both the Toner brothers walk away, Jin arrives in front of the Patriarch. Jin's father, Kironi Runcandel, far stronger and colder than anyone he'd ever known, is the strongest there is in this era, with the status of demigod, a Genesis Knight. While he once was no different from ordinary people, after he attained the status of demigod. He lost almost all of his human emotions and became an existence with nothing left to him but his obsession with the family and its prosperity. As someone with no talent in swordsmanship, to Jin's father, he may as well have not existed. But in this time, it's different. In this life, he'll make sure that no one will be able to disregard him. As he pushes open the doors, all the family members look at him as he walks towards the patriarch. As he approaches his father, he greets him. "I greet the patriarch," whilst going down on one knee and bowing his head. His father, not pleased with what he had said, asks Jin why he greeted him by calling him patriarch rather than father. With a calm demeanor, Jin explains that his brothers, sisters, and the guardian knights, over 100 members of the clan, visited today. Because of that, Jin concluded that his visit must be an official one. That is why he chose to refer to his father as the patriarch. The answer, while satisfying the patriarch, also garnered the attention of his eldest sister. With this, the patriarch asks Jin that he visited the Storm Castle for a different reason, and so he should refer to him as father for now. The patriarch, without wasting any time, asks Jin the same question that he asked his twin older brothers: what wrong did his brothers commit in their altercation? As Jin hears the question, he clenches his fists and answers that it is revenge, and continues that if you are a member of the Runcandel family, you must always return what you are given, whether that be grace or resentment. This makes one of Jin's sisters smile in awe and, in a devious manner, the answer that Jin gave makes the patriarch pause for a second and right after asks everyone, but the youngest, to leave the room. The guards standing behind the flag bearers start a conversation, stating if the youngest son had passed the patriarch's test. One of the persons standing along with the flag bearers states, "Don't just stand down." It's the patriarch's order, with which everyone starts to leave the room. Whilst leaving, one of the sisters smiles deviously as she can't believe that Jin gets to talk with the patriarch one-on-one. As everyone left, the patriarch continues, stating that he sent everyone away because he had a few questions only for Jin. The Toner twins mentioned that he used a special power. The father continues that the Runcandels strictly forbid the usage of magic, because they aren't able to achieve the pinnacle of swordsmanship if they train in magic. As Jin stays in his bowing state, the patriarch comes closer to him and states with a menacing voice what kind of power he was using. The patriarch conditions that if it was magic, then he will not allow this to pass lightly. With Jin compelled to answer his father truthfully, as long as his father knows about the power that he has, he won't ignore it because it is the power of Solderit. Jin states that he isn't sure about the power either, as this power isn't magic nor aura. As he exerts some of the power into his hands, he continues stating that he was wondering what to call this power. Jin continues whilst forming a ball of dark flames onto his hands, and stating that if his father doesn't mind to bestow upon him a name for that power. As the patriarch looked at his powers, he recognized that this is the power that the founder of the Runcandels possessed.